Hello, and welcome once again to Minding Your Business, a program brought to you by the Small Business Development Center on the Buffalo State College campus, where we are members of the School of the Professions, and we are professional. It's such a pleasure to be here with my co-host, Dr. Sue McCartney, another adventurous program you're going to really enjoy. Another one of our special programs. You know, you folks been watching us quite a while, but we're going to present something to you today that you've really never seen before. It's Alpine Made. I know you're thinking about going to Switzerland and climbing the mountains. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a goat farm located very near Buffalo, where Carrie Plank is operating something that is just unbelievable. Sue, were you impressed?
I am. And you know, Carrie is the most delightful person to work with. We're delighted to learn about her farm, to be able to work with her. This is the most beautiful setting, still located in Erie County, very close to Wyoming County. And we have goats. They have a factory. They run a retail operation that they manage from here. This is a very exciting entrepreneurial business, woman-owned business right here.
Right here, and this is a multiplicity of things she's involved in. She's involved in salesmanship, marketing, planning, all kinds of things that you would find in an operation where you have a natural product that is developed into a combination of other products that are being sold on the market. And it's all natural, which makes it so beautiful. People are very conscious today about natural things.
Yes. You know, one of the things I found so exciting this morning was being able to actually see those goats in action.
Right.
You know, some of them are big, Cliff.
I know, they know.
They're like bigger than I am.
And they're almost too friendly, and they got those big hard feet. They were stepping on me once in a while. I didn't like that.
And then there's these little goats. I guess that's how it works. But it was very impressive. And then the goat steps up and starts to it eats and gets milked at the same time. They're very efficient, aren't they?
These goats are raised right here on this farm.
Yes, they are.
They start out with a little bowl, and then they're trained into a point where they can actually drink out of a container.
They do.
And the milk that they produce is what is the basis for this whole operation.
Yes.
They get milked daily, and that milk was homogenized and treated and then converted into products that Carrie explained that to me. She lost me 2 or 3 times because she's got about 5 degrees along with her background in education. Yeah. She's learned a lot and picked up a lot of tips that she has remembered and utilized them as a part of her development.
Yes, Carrie, in her factory operation, does make magnificent soap products. She also does these beautiful creams, and I use all her products. It just makes you feel so phenomenal.
You can tell your skin looks so lovely. It was because of Carrie's products.
I know that's the reason. Carrie Plank makes me feel great. But what I think is also the big takeaway as an entrepreneurial education for our clients who watch these programs is the fact that Carrie has stressed how she availed herself of a lot of educational opportunities. As you know, she's worked very closely with our Associate Director and Business Advisor, Andrea Lysak. And they worked extensively on the business plan. They look at marketing strategies. They look at how to manage the business as effectively as possible, which is what the Small Business Development Center is all about.
That kind of help. And listen, it's been consistent over a pretty long period of time. You know, people think about business. They want to go into business and they want to do something that within a year or two, they're going to buy a new car. They're going to take a trip to France. Not going to happen. This young lady spent almost 5 years in developing and laying the groundwork to make this a successful venture. She sees it as an investment for the future. She's got 2 lovely young sons. They're out there petting the goats. One of them was carrying the goat around and said, that boy gonna drop that goat. And he didn't, and the goat loved it. So these things, this kind of atmosphere, and this is beautiful. Being out here, you know, it's been a long time since I sent out, and since a picnic or two where I sat out and saw this kind of feeling of being where you really should be with nature.
Definitely.
And this is why this is so outstanding, because this is a great day. And when you see the films that were taken and all the activity that was created in our involvement, you will know that you missed an opportunity. We wish we could run some buses or something. We might want to think about that.
Yeah, I think
we can make a couple $.
I think she
take
should
some tours. And
she should do agro-tourism.
Tell
Just
them,
amazing.
paint the goat.
Yeah.
and bring them on out here. This has
Excellent.
been a lovely occasion, and we want you to know that we appreciate you watching us once again. I want you to stay tuned, because what you're going to see is going to be an unforgettable memory of another one of our unforgettable programs. Thank you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Carrie,
Hi.
this is the most gorgeous setting I've ever seen in Western New York. You live in paradise.
It is paradise. Yes.
This is so
yes.
great. We're going to talk about your business, but the first thing, give us the name of the business.
So I branded our soap and skincare company Alpine Made, and this was back in 2011. We came from an organic farm background. So the first business I started was Certified Organic Goat Farm back in 2009. And at that point, I wasn't sure what I was planning on doing with the milk. 2 to 3 years later, I established myself in a skincare soap line, starting out with predominantly making soap and then branching out into more intricate products that we could use for skin moisturization, for skin healing. So now we have today, since 2011, over 45 products that we make.
It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to say right away, I am a huge fan of your products.
Thank you.
I've used the skin creams. All my soaps are the Alpine Made soaps.
Oh.
All absolutely fantastic. Now, what I'd like to do is situate us geographically. We drove out from Buffalo State today
Yes.
and had the most gorgeous drive getting here. But where, in fact, are we right now?
So from Buff State, I think it's exactly a half an hour trip. And we are in the southeast end of Erie County, you could say. We border Wyoming County by about a mile. So if you head down Route 78, which comes off of Route 20A, which is a main thoroughfare to get from essentially the lake all the way to central New York, you can take it. That you branched off at Route 78, and Route 78 heads directly to Wyoming County. So right down the road. In fact, I could probably see Wyoming County.
It's so beautiful. Now, you are exceptional in terms of entrepreneurship. That is one of the huge reasons that Mr. Bell and I are so excited to speak to you. Let me just say if I got this straight. First
Yes.
of all, you're in agriculture. You have
Yes.
a farm which you raise the livestock, and from there they produce a product, the goat milk. But then secondarily, you're in manufacturing
Yes.
because you actually make your product. Thirdly, you're in the high-end retail business where in order to get from the manufactured product, you are involved in branding, marketing, sales, and then sell the product, which we will talk about.
Okay.
So the first thing I would like to go over with you briefly is the agricultural part of it, which I think is so exciting. Tell me about your livestock, please.
So, okay, if we go way back, you could call me, I'm first generation Cuban American. My mother was born and raised in Cuba until about 14 years old with a farm background herself. So her parents raised a very large cattle farm in the mountains of Cuba. And after Castro came to power back in, I think it was 1963, they chose to immigrate to the United States because that way of life was soon to essentially be taken away from their family lineage. So they made the choice. My grandfather and my grandmother wanted to bring their ideas of self-sustaining, self-employment in a different country that offered more opportunity at that point. So my mom, when she got married, they never started a farm. But then here I came the generation after, and my background, I studied ecology and biology in as a bachelor's of science major and as well as a master's of science major too. So my background was not necessarily working with animals in agriculture per se, but my first job that I received was working with upstate New York dairy farmers with the Soil and Water Conservation District. So that was my first technician job, which landed me then a job with the USDA, which is a federal job, working again in the agriculture sector. So what I did for 5 years, that introduced that whole industry to me. And when I chose to leave those positions to start a family and stay home on the homestead, so to speak, I got my first goats. So I had two kinds of kids we were raising. We were raising goat kids, and then I had my 1 and 3 year olds alongside me at that point.
Excellent. Well, your goats are beautiful.
Thank you very
Yeah, and
much.
I'm very excited. We're all getting to check out your goats today and pet your goats
Yes.
and see your goats being milked. It's just absolutely fantastic. Okay, so you run this farm.
We run this farm.
Agricultural. Then
Yes.
we got to see some of the goats being milked. So that from the milk, you do some magic from the milk
do.
and you create products.
We do. We're
How do
called,
you do that?
We are called a value-added operation. A value-added operation takes a raw material from the farm that they produce. They take it as a raw ingredient and add some value to it to then sell at a higher end rate of sales. So I said, well, I could do one of two things. I can produce a food with it as a value-added product, or I could do something much easier because it entails a lot of licensing and upgrades to your infrastructure to go the cheese and yogurt route. So at that point, I didn't have access to too much capital. I did the skincare route. So we started making soap. We created a product that is very unique in and of itself. We eliminated the use of water as a main ingredient, which is up to 40. We use 40% water in a traditional soap making recipe. We took the water out and put our whole organic goat's milk in. And that's what produced the type of soap we make.
First of all, bravo on your marketing materials. Bravo on the labeling. And then we have worked together at the Elmwood Bidwell Farmers Market, which is one of your outlets. But you have other outlets besides Bidwell Elmwood.
We do. We are going from a 70% retail business, meaning we have to sell at our markets at the retail end of things, which takes up 70% of our total revenues, to now switching that completely over to being 70% wholesale. So what that means is, over time after I built my brand, we had to get out there. We had to be at every event you can imagine, every farmer's market you can imagine, to promote the product and establish a clientele, customership that loves us and keeps coming back for more. So at that point, then stores started picking us up. So we're in over 40 stores.
Congratulations.
Yep, mom and pop stores, big, larger chain stores. We are very fortunate to have been picked up by a very, very large grocery chain store that is they are launching us into the next steps, where now with selling more and more product, we can turn over a little bit more profit each year, which helps us grow. Profit helps a small business grow.
Absolutely. Well, I must say, you're one of our prize clients at the Small Business Development Center. I know you've worked with one of our absolutely best business advisors, Ms. Andrea Lizak. So we're proud to have worked with you. Congratulations on all your success. Andrea Lizak. Hi, Andrea. You have been working with amazing entrepreneurs for a long time. And this case in particular is really exciting. So how long ago was it when you started to work with Carrie Plank?
I think we started in 2012, maybe, about around there, where she came in to start working on her business plan.
Outstanding. And I remember you mentioning she was going to become an organic farm. Is that right?
Originally, that's what the plan was, and then we started looking at doing the financial numbers and seeing what made sense, and we figured out that going into the soap business and doing the organic soap with the organic milk made more financial sense than doing the whole organic farm.
Good. Now, have you been involved as she's expanded into this mammoth retail operation?
Yes, I have. And as she's expanded, we've moved on and done more business planning and edited her business plan and have done work on financial projections to see where she's come from and where she can go.
You know, we were talking earlier, and I want to applaud you on this. I mean, she is a tremendous woman-owned business.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, and we know there are challenges against various people with operating a business. So how did you provide support in that area?
It was supporting Carrie in everything that she wanted to do. If she came up with an idea, it was just encouraging her to move forward and proceed with that idea.
Outstanding. Andrea, you're terrific. Thank you for being such an important person at the Small Business Development Center.
It's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow, Dean Lundquist, this is an amazing operation. Tell me about working with goats every day. Does that make your day?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, actually. Every single one of these guys, they have all different personalities. It's getting to know them. These kids right here, for instance, they were taken away from their mothers when they were just when they were born. So now we're mom.
Thank you for letting us hang out at the farm today. It was a lot of fun. Sheila, you're an expert at working with goats, and fairly recently I saw a video of you actually delivering, I think it was 2 goats. How long have you known how to do that? And it looked pretty complicated, is it?
It depends on the birth. It can be complicated. That one wasn't really too bad. I grew up on a dairy farm, and so I was helping deliver calves since I was pretty small. So I've delivered several different species, but goats are fun too.
Well, you did a really good job, and it took a while for the goat to be born, and I was very impressed with your patience and being able to orchestrate that entire process. How old are the goats, or how long does a goat live?
It depends on the goat and the type of farm. On average, a goat lives like 8 to 10.
Excellent. And then how you have predominantly females, and I do understand that's because they're very productive and they're part of this business model to have female goats. How long are they productive in terms of producing the milk, which is used for the soap and used for the creams?
Well, we try to give them a year off when we can. So at about 2 years old, they'll have their first baby, and then they'll typically around 8 we retire them and let them just kind of just chill for the rest of their life because we don't want to work them too late.
So from 2 to 8, they may be productive, being able to be active within the milk production business. Last question: they're so thoughtful. They're all around us. Do they ever go scurrying off and hiding on you?
They never go to hide. Sometimes they'll run off to go find a really good tree, but they always come home.
Excellent. Well, Sheila, you're doing an amazing job. These are the very happiest, healthiest looking little animals I've ever met. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Good.
No matter who you are or where you're from,
you are welcome here.
So what we have here is we're building a barn using sustainable building barn practices. So what we're doing is utilizing local raw materials for our wood and for our insulating portion of the build. And this is called a light clay technique, which includes light clay and straw techniques, which what it does is it includes straw that's locally sourced. It's actually organic hay from a neighboring farm of ours. And then clay that's locally sourced as well. And we add water to the slough. We're adding the clay, some water, and some straw all at the same time. And as you can see, our friends from Puerto Rico and Cuba, near and dear to my heart, Daniel, they're getting their hands dirty, so to speak, because what they have to do is they have to pack these walls full of this slew of material. And what it does is it allows airflow to come through, allows the walls to breathe, which helps reduce moisture entrapment within the walls, which you do not want when you're building an insulated room. So my main guy in charge his name's Eric Rose, and he comes from Buff State College. He has a fine arts degree, and he concentrated in woodworking, and he's doing a phenomenal job. This is going to go down in history as an amazing example of what you can do to promote sustainability in your business.
Boy, it certainly gives me a great deal of pleasure to do a follow-up interview to you, Carrie. As I heard you talking about all the things you've been through and all the little technical steps you took. But one thing I want to talk about very briefly is the role that the Small Business Development Center played in your operation. Because people hear you talk and they think automatically, boy, that woman is brilliant. She's got everything going. And we know that you got a lot going. But you didn't do this alone. Even the Lone Ranger had Tonto. So kind of share with us some of those things that you were thinking to do that someone helped you put a plan together to make it a possibility for you.
Well, since my background was all science-based in college, and then my work history was all agriculture-based, I knew I had some talents, but I didn't quite know how to put everything together. So with me, my parents have always taught me, when you don't know something, seek it out. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So I went immediately to search for mentorship help. Like I've been working with Small Business Development Center, I think it's been 5 years now. I started out there at Buff State, and then I also work with another organization called SCORE as well.
Right.
And between the two mentors, the relationship I established, each bringing different ideas and information on how to structure my business steps along the way, helped me really formulate the best business plan. And I never knew what a business plan was. I never took Business 101 in college. Right. I barely took an English or humanities course in college. So I was basically starting from scratch.
Most people don't, but you know another thing that you shared with me just now that most people don't even attempt to do. You show patience as you developed your business. You said 5 years. There's people that want immediate success without having laid the groundwork that will assure them. And you said the significant thing, relationships. Without them, we can't go anywhere. So you've kept that part of your ambition going. That's why you're progressing the way you are.
Yes, the relationships with not only just the mentors, but with attending your workshops that you put together for the entrepreneurship community. You taught things from cybersecurity to how to build a website, to how to write your business plan, how to talk about finances. The financial report of a business plan is the most important part, and I never knew that.
That's right.
Yeah, it was easy for me to write what I wanted to do and write the mission and all that, but to address the financial picture, I took a course, I think, through you guys on QuickBooks.
Yes.
And how to learn QuickBooks.
Goals and objectives are very important for you to have those in mind, because if you don't have goals and objectives, you have no way of measuring how your business is advancing. So that being said, I came to help you promote your business, Alpine Made, but we're finding out now that you're promoting the SBDC by assuring people the value of how coming to see us. And so, you know, you're not only an example of that striving success, and I know you're not comfortable where you are. Share that very briefly. You know where you're going, but you're still not quite
I'm not quite
ready for prime time.
No, not quite yet. I feel it. I feel it coming forward, but it's still baby steps. With any endeavor anyone takes, it's like, take the next baby step. It'll get you further. Take it again. Sometimes you end up taking some baby steps backwards too. Those are called the hurdles of developing a business. But with the perseverance of not giving up, which actually I think comes innately through my lineage.
That's got a lot to do with it.
The perseverance, you have to have that as an entrepreneur.
It's an investment. I liked another thing. I see your two lovely young sons. They're right in the picture things. You know, the goats run up to them, so they've been involved in this whole operation. And I think it's very important that people that are going into business are aware that their family needs to be interested in what they're doing, because the support you get from them kind of reinforces the fact that you're going the right way, having mama around, having your children. I mean, the value of that is it's unspeakable. So
it is.
You're very fortunate in that regard.
I'm very fortunate. I had my goats since they were babies, still in diapers. And the fact that now my almost 13-year-old, I'm teaching him how to work an Instagram account. I'm teaching him the language of Instagram. And he's learning photography. Well, guess what Aiden, my oldest son, will be doing for me in not too long? He's going to manage my Instagram account. So that will, I want them to learn as much from me as I learn from them as children. Because you learn a lot from your kids. You really do as a parent. You really
just like
learn
you're carrying the torch that your family laid the groundwork for you to do.
Yes.
You're laying the groundwork for your children to do. And the success of business is built around reputation and continuation. So you've kind of handled both of those very well, and it's so happy for us to be out here in this environment, because it's been a long time since I've seen this much country, and to have the goats running, I felt like I wanted to go back home somewhere, wherever that was. And it's been a pleasure having you, the way you've shared yourself with all of us and the children that are out here learning so much as a result of having a hands-on experience.
Absolutely.
That's magnificent. I think it's important that you realize it, knowing the kind of role you're playing and how important it is for those children that come here. A lot of them not from this country. They're people that are learning something about America. This is the groundwork.
Absolutely. It's called the American Dream, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what you're living.
Yes.
Remember you said Cuba, you're the first
I
one?
am the first generation Cuban
There's
American.
a lot of people here under the same conditions, and
Yeah.
you're an example of
Yeah.
that potential success. So that is great.
I just have to give you a hug.
Love you, Carrie.
Love you.
And thank you for having us out here with you today.
No matter who you are or where you're from,
You are welcome here. Tú eres bienvenido. مرحبا. أهلا وسهلا.
you are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Thank you and welcome back. Wasn't that outstanding? I know you got glued to the screen when you saw this first come on, just like we were glued to it when we were here in person. Sue, were you impressed at what you saw?
Oh my gosh, I love this operation. I think it's phenomenal. I love the farming, I love the goats, I love the manufacturing, everything's great. And in particular, I love Carrie. She is a dynamo entrepreneur.
Yeah, now we got to give a little credit to Mama, because if it wasn't for Mama, wouldn't be no Carrie.
That's right.
But Mama is right here, tied in with her daughter. See, and she's from Cuba originally. She came here when she was 14 years old, and she laid the kind of groundwork that Carrie Plank just got involved with, and you can see that relationship. Her mother is outstanding. She speaks 2-3 languages, and she's so friendly. She's right there underneath. When I turn around, I almost called her mom a couple of times.
Yeah.
So that was inviting. Now, talk about those goats and the effect that that whole process had on you.
No.
And being in this church, too.
Yeah,
We'll talk
no,
about that a little bit.
Cliff, it's all been great. I love it, and I want other entrepreneurs to think about starting a business too. I'm hoping this show was very inspirational to people thinking about starting a business and or people who are currently in business, and that leads them an opportunity to come and see us.
Come and see us. And listen, we're at Buffalo State College campus, and we have an operation where we give business advice to people, help them put plans and things together. And our phone number, if you want to call us and make an appointment to meet with one of our counselors or advisors, is 878-4030. Now listen, it's free. It's all about you. If you come in with a plan for a business, we will assist you in every way we can. We will help you make connections. We will help you get introduced to opportunities that you don't even know exist. So 878-4030, very important role in your life. So call us.
You're fantastic. You wrapped it up. Thank you.
I did, but you know, this is Director Sue McCartney, and I'm out here as a result of her. I was in the Common Council. She came in and saw me and said, you got to come out to Buffalo State College and join me. I said, Sue, leave me alone. But I came out here, that was 18 years ago, so I must have loved it. And the atmosphere is so great, just like the atmosphere you saw in the tape you saw today. If you really want to go into business and you're serious about getting the help you need to do it, remember, 878-4030, Small Business Development Center on the Buffalo State College campus. You just have a great day. It's been fun being with you.